The FHR 40 Windfall is one of the easiest epics to obtain in the game. What you need to do to get this epic is get level 50 with the JTF Wolverines. This is the first mission team you unlock, and I assume most people would have this weapon already or have like a good amount of progress towards the JTF Wolverines. If you don't already have this gun and you want to get it, just grind games. Gun game works pretty well for this just because you can get a lot of games in fast and you can level up your mission teams. This epic has 2 perks and a unique sight to it. The perks are extended magazines, which is pretty basic, and then invigorate, which will refill a portion of your health when you kill an enemy. This is pretty unique, and I think this is the only epic that has this ability. And the way it works is if you are lower than 50% health, you'll regen a small percentage of health. But if you are at like 50% or higher, you'll regen to max health. My favorite way to run this gun is with quick draw, silencer, and grip. Foregrip could be exchanged for something like a laser sight or extended mags though. It's pretty much just subjective on that one, but I do like silencer and quick draw on this thing for sure. Silencer does reduce the range by 25%, but the FHR already has very low range, so the silencer reducing it isn't too much of a change because it wasn't its strong suit. Like, you weren't going to be going for long shots with this weapon anyways. Range for the base FHR is a 4-hit kill up to 5 meters, a 5-hit kill up to 13 meters, a 6-hit up to 18 meters, and then a 7-hit kill anywhere past 18 meters. With a silencer, however, it goes down from a 4-hit goes to 3.75 meters, a 5-hit becomes 9.75 meters, a 6-hit is up to 13.5 meters, and then a 7-hit kill is anything higher than 13.5 meters. So it still has, like, with silencer has a very, very low range, but with how you want to play with this gun, I don't think it will affect anything too much. So I think the benefits of a silencer outweigh the negatives, the range decreasing. The main strength of this gun is the fire rate, which is 967 RPM. This is the fastest in-class SMG fire rate, and it is even faster than the Ripper RPR Evo variant, which gains an increased fire rate. And that's why I don't think the range is too important. It has a very high recoil, or not very high recoil, very high fire rate and like moderate recoil already. So you're not really going to be going for long shots with this as it is. I like to play a lot of like stealthy flanking with this weapon. That's why I like to have the silencer. I often just try to get behind the enemy team and then like close the gap that way. Trying to like run out through the middle of the map really isn't going to work with this because the range is so poor. You'll see a lot of times in this game I'm like flanking the enemy team to get into their like base or just using the wall runs to flank. Yeah, you really just want to avoid wide open areas and long sight lines with this weapon and just try to limit your exposure as much as possible because of how poor it is. The hip fire is also very good because of the high RPM. So if you're up close you can easily hip fire. The aimed ADS range, or not range, but recoil is like moderately high, so you don't really want to do that. It's okay for the range though. Like I said, the range is very small, so you really only want to be playing up to like, I would say probably like 10 meters with this gun, because 5 hits already a lot of bullets. 6, like if you're going up to 6, like that's, most guns are going to win that gunfight versus you. Like I said before, this gun gets an extended magazine because of its weapon perk, and it goes from 40 to 48, and then extended mags will be 72 as opposed to 60. The base FHR with an extended mag is 60. So, I mean, it's a little bit of extra bullets. It's nothing amazing, but it can help a bit. And if you want extended mags, it's definitely a good option for this gun instead of the grip. In that third weapon slot, I would probably put grip, laser sight, or extended mags. Those would probably be the 3 choices I would go with. For the rest of my class with this weapon, it's pretty basic. I like to use Ghost and Scavenger. Scavenger is definitely helpful because of how fast you can run through ammo with this gun. And then Ghost is obviously helpful as well if you want to be sneaky and use the silencer. Like, there's no point in using the silencer if you don't have Ghost, pretty much. A third perk, good option for that, would be Gung Ho. Because of how good this gun is up close, if you slide with it and hipfire, it could be very, very deadly up close. Like I said before, this gun is best for an aggressive flanking playstyle, and you can see in this gameplay it's what I'm trying to do as much as possible. A lot of the attributes of this weapon really contribute to that, such as the high fire rate, the good hipfire, and the high magazine count. If you come up behind like 3 or 4 people in a room, you definitely have enough ammo to finish all those people off. And that's, I really like how this weapon is built, and like it really feels like it's tailored to that purpose. With rigs and payloads with this weapon, I think you have a lot of choices that could complement how you want to use it. In this gameplay, I'm just using Warfighter, Claw, and Ping, which is a very generic loadout that pretty much goes well with anything. But I think some of the specialist abilities you could use with this would really complement your aggressive and like stealthy playstyle. For example, you could use the Phantom ability or Phantom rig with the active Camo payload, and then something like the Heightened Senses or Marked Target trait. Or you could use the FTL. I really want to try this one out, but I haven't yet. The FTL with the Jump or Phase Shift ability. And then the Powerslide or Supercharge. I think the Powerslide in combination with Gung Ho could really make this deadly with that like sliding and hip firing playstyle. Finally, the Merc with the Merc with reactive armor and infusion could also go well with this, just to get as much like health and health regen as possible. Especially if you get caught in a bad situation, that reactive armor can definitely help you. And then finally, I also think Synaptic with rewind and propulsion could help you a lot. Rewind, if you get caught in a bad spot, you could just rewind and get out of there. That's good because this gun has very bad range, so you really need as much like get the fuck out of there abilities as possible. And then propulsion can obviously gives you more jump, like you refilled your jump ability faster, and that's going to help a lot with flanking if you're using the wall runs or things like that. You can just get around the map as fast as possible using propulsion, and that can definitely help you with your flanks. Overall, I think this epic is fun to use, but I don't know if it's really that effective or even if it's the best variant of the HVR. I would have to play around with some more of the other ones and then make a decision on that. But it's really unique. I really like the Invigorate ability. And I think this could also be useful for hardcore. I don't really play hardcore much, but I think you don't regenerate health in it, so the Invigorate could help you like with that in that regard. But I don't really know how much that would be effective because I think a lot of people use the NV4 flatline in hardcore and then that just one hit kills all the time. So you probably might not even notice the health regen, but if you are someone that finds yourself like running around super weak in hardcore, maybe this could help you, I don't know. When I first got this weapon, I really disliked it. I got it early on in the game when the SMGs weren't as good, but with the recent aim assist ranges like being changed and improved on the SMGs, as well as the other weapons getting the sprint out time increases, I think this gun's definitely more viable than it was previously. And if you're someone that tried it out early in the game and didn't like it, you should definitely give it another try. Or if you're someone who's close enough to get it, like you're pretty close to getting 50 with the JTF Wolverines, you should definitely grind for it and then use this gun and see how you like it, because you might really enjoy it. I've been having a lot of fun playing with it, and I really did not like it to start with. I think the sight it has can be kind of annoying at times, because I think it increases the magnification, which also increases the view kick. If you don't know, view kick isn't actual recoil, it's just a perceived recoil on like your character's screen. It's kind of weird. But increased magnification tends to increase that more, so sometimes I get annoyed with it and I tend to like switch that out for elo sight, but that's using another class point. But sometimes I feel like it's worth it because like I don't know, the built-in sight just feels awkward to me sometimes. But if you're someone that just enjoys it, it's definitely a unique sight and it could help you if you like it. So that's gonna do it for this video. I think I covered everything I wanted to with the FHR, but just remember to flank with this gun, try to limit your engagements to close quarters, kind of like how you would with a shotgun, and I think you can get a lot of enjoyment out of this weapon.
Mission accomplished. I did not doubt you for a second.